Well, in August, we have been listening to people's personal faith journeys, where they come from and where they are currently. Of course, none of us are where we're going to end up. We are all in progress, but we've had some people sharing with us this month about the progress they've made and where they think they're moving toward. The person you'll be hearing today, you've heard before, but you've not heard her speak probably. You've heard her amazing singing voice, but today she's going to share her personal story with us. So would you please welcome to the chair, Tara Sperry.
Good morning.
So Tara came to us right before Christmas last year, became one of the artists in residence here, helping our worship be amazing. And before that, she was a soloist at a Roman Catholic church, but she grew up in a Latter-day Saints environment. She came from the West, and so grew up in that church, went to their religious education program in high school, and was very devout, very, very faithful. And so through the LDS and the Catholic Church, and now here, we've got similar stories. But let's hear your experience of what got you here and what's happened since.
Okay, certainly. I'm a little nervous to share my story because it's a journey, like you said, and it's not at the cute part. It's kind of at the part that's a little bit treacherous, and I'm finding my way. Like Durrell said, I've been here since December of 2015, so not too long, but ever since I've been here, my spirituality has been reignited, and I'll explain what I mean by that. I came from a religion that was very strict, and I loved my religion growing up. I didn't know anything other, and I believed wholeheartedly. I never questioned anything. I learned at a very young age that I was shown love and appreciation and approval, acceptance, by how religious I was and how well I lived my religion. So I always was the first to say my prayers and read my scriptures and pay my tithing and have the right answer in Sunday school class, and that's how I received love. I was a Mormon, and a Mormon just believes.
Right.
And if you've seen the musical, The Book of Mormon, it's pretty accurate in the ideology. So as I grew up and became older, I began to no longer fit into the mold that they had designed for me, and I began to find myself alone and isolated, and the people, the community that I once knew began to be unfamiliar to me, and I was unfamiliar to them, and we no longer had anything in common, and so I was alone. And spirituality became something for me that was difficult and painful. So I sealed it up and I put it away where I didn't have to touch it or feel it or think about it. And I've always been in church every Sunday because when I left my church, the Mormon church, I was a musician and I would get paid to sing in other churches. And that was a foreign concept from the Mormon church, but it was a nice paycheck for me. So I went to church, not so much to hear the message and be spiritually fed, but to get the paycheck. And I didn't really engage. And it wasn't until December when I started regularly attending the Sunshine Cathedral that my hibernating spiritual giant was poked by you. You poked it. And I could no longer deny the feelings that you inevitably feel here at the Sunshine Cathedral. And at first it was confusing and hard and scary because I was feeling similar feelings that I felt as a child and a young adult, but hearing a very different message. And so I didn't know how to interpret that message because the God that I grew up with, that I knew, that I was taught to know, was a God that was conditional in his love and acceptance. It was based on my actions and the way I lived my life, the choices I made. And now I'm learning that God is an unconditional God, and we are loved regardless, just because we exist. And that has been such a powerful message for me that I have not heard. And I'm a school teacher. I teach music, elementary school. So 10 months out of the year, I'm very distracted. I have 1,000 students. I teach the whole school. And in the summertime, I get 2 months off, and that can either be a blessing or a curse. And this summer it was a curse because I was experiencing this journey, and I had a lot of copious spare time to wrestle with my thoughts and try to figure out what all of these emotions that were resurfacing meant. And I'm kind of going through a little bit of a cognitive reconstruction right now, where I'm having to reformat the way that my brain interprets God's message and God's love. And that's where I am. In conclusion, I don't want to think of it as a conclusion because it's really an evolution, and I'm still evolving, but I just want to thank you and the clergy and the choir. I've made some wonderful friends in the choir, and many of you in the congregation who have helped me to feel loved and accepted no matter what. And for that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Tara.